Sanbonani. My name is Zindzi Thwala, and today I've joined platforms with MTN Eswatini and JA Eswatini to talk about what I do on social media to create a career for myself. Maybe to introduce myself and what I do. I'm 32 years, well, turning 32 in this the new year soon. And what I do, I'm a country manager for Liquid Logic, so I do have a full-time job. But I also do other things on the side, and that is what I want to talk about today in terms of helping the youth find different ways of making an income and making a living. So even though I do have a 9-to-5, which is what I do at Liquid Logic, I'm the country manager for there, so I run the day-to-day operations. But I also have a salon. I own a salon, a Checkers Business Park called Authentic Hair Salon and Barber. And I'm also a content creator and a vlogger, which is what I want to speak about today. I hope everybody that's joining the platform, if you're joining the platform, please leave us a comment, leave us questions. Let's make this an interactive and engaging platform. But yeah, what I'm going to talk about today is vlogging and content creation. So a lot of people ask me what content creation is, and if you do follow me on my social media platforms on Instagram, I do know it transfers to Facebook as well, and I'm also on YouTube. So what is content creation? Okay, let's get into it. So content creation is basically documenting the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, or documenting the things that you love to talk about, whether it is parenting, whether it is your art if you're an artist, whether it is just your day-to-day coping mechanisms or how you spend your day, and share it with people on social media platforms. That is what content creation is essentially. And so there's a difference between creating content to make money and creating content just for the fun of it, even though I think it's the same thing, and I'll tell you why. And that's how I got into content creation. Content creation, I love talking, I love people, and I love sharing what I do, or tips and tricks of the things that I do on a day-to-day basis. So I used to do that without thinking about it for money, right? So I wasn't thinking, how can I make money out of this? I started creating content, started talking to people, and that's how I gained a following, right? But then I realized that when you have people that follow you and people that understand how you live and have an opinion about how you live, or trust your opinion about how you live, brands are really interested in people like that, right? Because if I give vouch to something and I say it is one way, then people can also like buy it, right? So that's what brands want to do. So that's how I transferred creating content for fun into making money out of it. So the main platform that I use is Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, please do so. My handle on Instagram is Zindzi Thwala, ZINDZITHWALA, and that will give you a better understanding as you follow my page to what I do on a day-to-day basis. I obviously do create content on a day-to-day basis, but I also do campaigns for brands. And how I got into that is because, like I said, if you have a following of 5,000, 10,000 people, even 1,000, you don't have to have a big following to make money. Just create the content, get people to watch your content, and then brands will partner with you in terms of promoting their products or their services. And that's how I started. I started creating content every day. I was on my stories talking to people, and people would talk back and tell me their insights about the things that I'm talking about, and brands are really interested in that, right? They're interested in connecting to people. So if you are the middleman in terms of creating content, definitely you're going to make money out of that, right? So that's how I started content creation, my main platform being Instagram, and then I moved to YouTube. And I know nowadays everybody's on YouTube, and some people are wondering, YouTube, what are you guys doing? Why are you guys vlogging, and why are you guys telling us about your day? And I really think that it is a bigger platform than what I've just spoken about in terms of YouTube, right? In terms of Instagram. So YouTube is a platform that pays you for creating content, right? So not just the brands or the people or the partners that you work with, but the actual platform, your YouTube. If you register on it and you get a following, you get paid to make that content, which is an easy way to make money. So there are criteria that you must obviously qualify for in order to make that money. For example, they give you a 12-month period when you sign up initially, and they say, okay, in 12 months, create as much content as you want, but you must have 4,000 watch hours. So people must watch you for a minimum of 4,000 hours in that 12 months. And you must have at least 1,000 subscribers. So every time you see a YouTube person say, guys, please subscribe, please subscribe, please subscribe, it's because they're trying to make that target. And the more followers you have, the more money you make, right? The more subscribers you have, the more money you make. So that's how I got into YouTube. That's how I got into Instagram. And a big question that people always ask me is, what do I need to start? That is a very tricky question because we're not the same, right? Not everybody has a camera. Not everybody has a phone that can, you know, take proper quality in terms of pictures and videos for creating content. So those are the things that you do need. So if anyone asks me what you need to start creating content or to be a content creator, sometimes they call it to be an influencer or to be a vlogger on YouTube, you need to have the equipment. You don't have to have a fancy phone like an iPhone or like an expensive camera. Anything that you have right now, start with it. And work towards getting better in terms of the equipment that you have. I know a lot of content creators on Instagram that are just starting. And I think that's an important part. A lot of us as the youth, we are very afraid to start. And I just want to come here and encourage people to see, when I look back to where I started when I was creating content and I look to where I am now, there's a huge difference, you know, in terms of the quality, in terms of the brands that I work with today, in terms of the money that I'm making. But I just needed to start. And we are so afraid to start creating content, and you think you have to look fancy and go to fancy places and, you know, have a fancy phone. Gani, that comes with time. That comes with actually doing the work. And I think that's what I want to encourage the youth today in terms of just start with what you have and grow towards having the things that you want. And I think this space has allowed me to really flex my creative side. It has allowed me to meet new people and meet new brands and to just, you know, put myself out there in terms of the things that I love. And there is a big misconception when it comes to creating content. You must just create content where you're in, you know, fancy places and you're doing all these fancy things. Gani, there are things called niches, and that's what I want to talk about next in terms of finding your niche. And what I mean by niche is that when you take like self-introspection and you're like, okay, what do I like? What do I like doing? What do I like consuming? What do I like talking about? When I'm chilling with my family, when I'm chilling with my friends, what do I like to talk about? What do we like to do? Those are the things that you most probably should start in terms of creating content. You should start with, right? So if you're a person who, you're a new mom and you like mom content, you like sharing with your friends and you found tips and tricks, you can literally make that your niche. You can talk about everybody that goes onto your page where this person always talks about parenting tips, about their child development, and that's your niche. There are people who are looking for that content all the time. So find your niche in terms of like what you like the most. That's usually the best indicator of what you can do best. If you like painting, if you like playing sport, if you like gadgets and, you know, new technology, there are always people that are ready to consume that content. So all you have to do is just focus on what you love best. Don't try and copy other people, because another thing that is really significant or really important when you're doing content creation is that you must be authentic. Brands want to work with people that are authentic, that are genuine, because if you're genuine, people trust your word and people trust the content that you put out. So if you're a person that they're not really sure about, or they can tell that you're lying or you're copying somebody else, then it becomes hard for them to partner with you, okay? So yeah, I really motivate people to do things that they love, find a niche, and when you find a niche, you will start gaining a following. When you gain a following, you will start getting brands or people that want to work with you or use your platform to reach out to your audience, right? Okay, so that's the first half of what I'm talking about today. We are going to take a quick break. Please don't forget to send us questions, put down comments in the comment section, and then you can join us for the second half of our vlog today. I'll call it a vlog because that's what we're talking about. But after this short break, we can do questions and I can expand further on what I do. Thank you. Hi guys, so welcome back to the second half of our session. I got one question from the team that I'm with here today, and they asked me like, how do I get paid? Like, how does the money get into my account? So there are various ways that you do get paid. Like I said, you have brands that come to you and say, okay, this is the product that we want to push. We can see you've got 10,000 followers, and this is the campaign that we want. So you get paid like that. You get paid per campaign, or you can get paid via the platform that you are, active on. So for example, I know in some other countries, people do also get paid for Instagram. Unfortunately, in our country, we don't get paid, or actually, I think in the Southern Hemisphere, Southern Africa, we don't get paid for Instagram. But with YouTube, we do. YouTube pays you directly. I mean, when you register, you put in all your full information, and once you qualify, you get paid for paid promotion. So I don't know if you've watched YouTube and then you see the ads pop up. People get paid for those ads being in their videos. And then also, when you reach certain numbers of subscribers, you just get like a monthly type of payment with YouTube, depending on how active your YouTube page or YouTube channel is, right? So there are different ways to get paid. And I always say, don't focus on the numbers. Never focus on the numbers. Focus on creating the content. And if it's something that you love, like I mentioned earlier, it becomes easier. If you like telling people about your day, then just vlog from in the morning. This is how I had my morning, this is how I had my lunch, this is how I ended my day, this is how I sleep, right? Sounds very simple, because it is, right? You don't have to do something over and above what you're currently doing now. The only difference is that you have to document the stuff, right? So maybe let me do like a recap of everything I've said for anyone who's joining us now. How I started content creation is just doing what I love. My favorite platform is Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you're not. And I started doing this how long ago? I think it's almost 3-4 years now. I've been very active on my social media platforms, creating content. And then only like 2 years ago did, brands, local brands, even in the country, they're very interested in partnering with people that have a following and that have a voice or that have an opinion about a certain topic. So I started working with local brands in the country. And when I say brands, I mean like companies, like actual companies that have products to sell or that want to, get awareness about the services that they do. So I actually started working with them, and that's how I started content creation. And now I'm just venturing into vlogging as well. So if you are a person who loves YouTube, please do follow me again on my YouTube channel, Zindzi Thwala. And yeah, and I just share lifestyle content. I share my thoughts, and that's as simple as it should be. It's not like this big animal of influencing, and you must be a certain pay grade. It's literally, I've seen people who vlog about their Christian journey. I've seen people who vlog about their kids, like I've said previously. I've seen people vlog about fashion, what they like, what they don't like. Even like the biggest YouTube channels are actually gossip channels. So anything that you like to do, document it, put it up, and even if you get small or like really minimal numbers when you start, just keep on creating the content, and your type or your niche or your people will find you, right? So that's what I talked about, and I talked about how you can be paid. And I think a big part of creating content and getting paid or being professional is making that decision. So there are people who create content and they have no intention of getting paid. They're just creating content because they like it. But if you want to be paid and be a professional content creator, you have to make that decision that I'm gonna be like a content creator who creates for money, right? Because that then governs how you present yourself, your language. Do brands want to partner with a person who's dressed a certain way? You need to find out and make all those decisions based on research, right? So I always advise people that if you want to be a professional content creator, make the decision and then decide to govern yourself, just like you're going to work. If you're going to work, you dress a certain way. If you're going to work, you talk a certain way. You talk to people, you know who you're going to, you know the type of people that you work with. The content creation is the exact same way. If you want to create content professionally, especially in our country, you have to put yourself in that category. You have to talk a certain way, be in certain places, do certain things. And I think that's what distinguishes people from just being on social media and actually being a content creator. Another question that I got asked recently that I also spoke about in the first session is, what do I need to actually create content? Lots of things. Use your mom's phone, use your friend's phone, use your phone. If you have a camera lying around, start documenting, teaching yourself how to edit. Luckily for us, we live in the internet age. So if you have data, jump onto YouTube, find out how to edit, find out how to, use the things that you have right now to make a career out of what you're doing, right? So as I wrap up the session, I don't know if we have any questions. I don't think we do. Do we have any questions? I don't see any questions on the screen. So I think we are wrapping it up. Thank you for everybody who's joined the platform. Just want to say to the youth, we live in such a beautiful time to expose ourselves. There's so many opportunities. It's not like back in the day when starting a business and doing things was very hard, right? You needed crazy amounts of capital, you needed crazy amounts of resources and expertise. But right now, everything is literally in the palm of our hands. And I think I'm so grateful to JA Eswatini and MTN for bringing this platform together, because if you watch all the other episodes, you find so many opportunities that have been put out for the youth to make the most of what they have. Even like if you're in between schools, even if you're done with school and not sure what you want to do as a career, this is such a good time to be alive, because we are global citizens right now. We are attached because the internet is connecting us. So if you want information, you just need to do the work. And I think what I'm encouraging the youth to do today is do the work. I know everything is coming easy now, but if you want something, do the research, ask the questions, open the doors, knock, bother people. Even if it's just bothering people for data so that you can do the research, do that. Thank you so much for having me, JA Eswatini and MTN. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, please make the most of the things that you have.